did you decide to become a chemical engineer? Why not other majors?
Yeah, so, when I started as an undergraduate, I was pretty sure that I wanted to major in science, math, engineering. Those were clearly where my talents as well as my interests were. But to be very honest, I didn't know enough about the differences between the different engineering disciplines, or even for sure that I wanted engineering instead of a science major. But when I was a sophomore, I did take an introduction to chemical engineering class that, I figured, okay, let me learn a little bit about chemical engineering and see whether that might be a fit. I enjoyed the class, probably enough that I might have ended up majoring in chemical engineering, but the faculty member who was teaching the class took me aside towards the end of the semester and said, you're really doing well. I'd love to have you get involved in my research group. And so I started doing research as a sophomore in chemical engineering. And before I knew it, I was a chemical engineer, and I've never looked back, with any feeling of wouldn't it have been better if I was in a different discipline? I don't know necessarily that there's a perfect fit for everybody. But I like the fact that chemical engineering is closely tied to the basic sciences. I like the rigor and quantitative aspects of the discipline. And so it's been a great fit for me. So a little bit lucky, maybe. I don't know what would have happened had I, taken a different class that semester, but that's sometimes how things
Sure.
work.
Sure. And when I look at your CV, you got your bachelor from Yale, then PhD from MIT. So these are the top universities in the world. What did you do as an undergrad and then as a grad that put you in this trajectory of being on the top universities? Was it more like a hardworking or talent or mix? What was the reason?
Yeah, certainly I feel very fortunate that I had natural talent that was there. Um, I certainly worked hard. I don't know, though, that I worked harder than anybody else did. I do think that I always had very good time management and organizational skills. And so I always like to feel that I worked more efficiently than a lot of my fellow students because I say I certainly didn't feel that I was working that much more in the way of hours, but I was fortunate. I obviously did well as an undergrad and continued to do well as a grad student. Some of it is I always enjoyed learning. I liked being challenged in class. I never got upset when faculty gave hard assignments or even hard exams. It was just sort of, okay, let's figure out how to step up and meet the challenge. And I certainly know of other students who allowed themselves to get frustrated and use that frustration to maybe not put in the time and effort to be successful. I say it's not that I got everything right by any stretch of the imagination, but I always enjoyed being challenged and still enjoy challenging myself and trying to meet those challenges as opposed to just trying to find an easy way.
Thank you.